for a lot of them, bro, it's business than the people. Because I had already came into this business with retail money, it was about the people. Because I had already got the bag. I had figured out like money don't really get you nothing but materials and false perceptions.
Right.
But for a lot of them, bro, it's about the money than the people. So they fighting for that whatever supposed position they got in their mind. They fighting like hell to maintain it.
Also, sure, I just want to put in a simple plug for y'all.
Man, shout out to That's a Plug. Make sure y'all tune in, subscribe, and catch the wave while you can.
What it do, bro?
What's up, bro?
How you feeling, man?
Good. No complaints. How about you?
Man, I'm straight, man. Straight. Pleasure to have you here, man. For real, pleasure to have you out.
Likewise.
Let's get right into it, man. For those who been under a rock and don't know who the hell you are,
Robbie thinking the same thing.
I'm telling you, let them know, man, who you are, what you got going on.
My name is Derrick Grace. I'm a 29-year-old number one selling author, homeschool instructor, and international speaker. Outside of that, bro, I created a movement called Unlearn Re-learn, probably like, I don't know, some years ago, probably like 5 years ago. And basically what the name of that represents is just like, I think the time is more important than ever that we get an individualistic perspective on the world around us. Mm-hmm. So basically like unlearning a lot of the traditionalism we was taught and relearning it based on our perspective in current time. There's a lot of people that's trying to apply like 1978 principles to the year 2018.
Right.
You're going to get swallowed out here.
In terms of education or in terms of like a lot of other things?
Education, protecting ourselves,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro, those are top two that I see most. Like people still trying to use like an outdated curriculum and build with that in 2018, and you know the world is quickly evolving.
Right. So, what was your unlearn and relearn moment, or have you always been woke, as they call it?
No, bro. I've always been rebellious. So I think even when I wasn't focused on solely learning, I learned a lot of stuff I did just out of being like they would say a bad child.
Yeah.
So basically, like, I never really got caught up in traditionalism because I was hard-headed and didn't want to listen to what they was talking about anyway. So a lot of things I just figured out through trial and error.
Right.
And to me, bro, trial and error is the greatest teacher. Nothing wrong with having I write curriculum, so it's nothing wrong with creating a curriculum and a path, but I think you learn more information, you get more experience, and it's expedited when you do it through trial and error rather than just somebody telling you how life supposed to go.
Most definitely.
But for me, I wouldn't say woke, right? I don't even use that term. I don't even use woke. I don't use woke or conscious. I just think I'm socially aware of what's going on in the world and what's around me. But I ain't gonna lie, I don't think I could really remember a defining moment. I think just as a child, just because my rebelliousness helped me figure out things on my own. And that served me to get my own perspective, because you know a lot of times, bro, when you hard-headed, people gonna leave you hanging. And they're gonna be like, well, shit, you gonna learn now.
So you gonna have to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've been doing since I was a child.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on restoring gang culture? Because you talk a lot about restoring gang culture, and I think you mean like the origin of gang culture, like where it originally started.
Yeah, bro,
the
protocol, the rules, the guidelines. I'm from Tampa.
Yeah.
Like, bro, they be robbing old ladies and they feel like
they did something.
Yeah, like you're a big dog.
Right.
Like you broke into somebody's grandma's house and things of that nature. So, and I think, bro, like another thing I appreciate about gang culture is they don't mind fighting. I really don't want none of us fighting, but I'd rather go to that level before it escalate to killing.
Before we get to shooting, yeah.
So because there's an organized function, there's certain rules and ramifications you got to go by. Otherwise, you got to deal with somebody else in the hierarchy that you're gonna be in some real trouble with. So, but to me, bro, and the gang culture, bro, it provides camaraderie.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the few times you're gonna see countless men of color get together and be on one accord, one mission at the same time. Whether it's good or bad, they're gonna be in unit. You feel me? They're gonna be unified. We rarely get that.
I got you right there. What's something you learned while you was in the streets that you apply every day to business?
Body language. Two things, bro, with the streets, and I study Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Bro, a lot of people just like to hone in on him when it's embarrassing moments to look at the fights.
Yeah.
But bro, if you study his body language and like the mental war he played with his opponents before the fight, you would see like why he was as effective as he was.
Right.
Because bro, like, let's give an example. If we saw a man outside walking around with pigeons that had a lisp, he may not come off as like the toughest, craziest guy in the world. We may look at him like, pigeons in the list,
Right.
like, okay.
Right.
But Mike had a defense mechanism, bro, and he terrified people.
Yeah.
You feel me? Before he even got like,
I think he won the fight before he even stepped in the ring.
no, bro, he knew that. He had an interview. He was like, I would get in there, press conference, weigh-ins, and I wouldn't smile, wouldn't say a word. I just stare at my opponent. And then, bro, he had already leveraged control when the fight started. Like, bro, they ain't know if they was dealing with a man or a demon at that point. You feel me? So
they already lost.
I ain't gonna lie, run business. I have in a positive manner, but I have pressed a lot of people line in business situations, or I've been able to stand my ground as an independent entity when certain people would try to make me compromise my morals without saying a word, without ever cursing, without getting angry. I just like, especially with men, bro, like most men have a circumference that they're comfortable with and they're not comfortable with.
Right.
And once another man enter that bubble, they either gonna submit or they're gonna be like, bro, back the hell up off me.
Right.
So in business, bro, the same principles. That's why I say to me, bro, the most dangerous people are the people that street smart and book smart. Because he has been through something and he figured out a different type of language that people in suits don't typically know.
Yeah.
So I would say, bro, more than anything, like body language. I've been able to use that one. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, it's been certain situations like, just eye contact, a firm handshake, and tattoos can really help a business deal go in your favor because they kind of just like, man, just whatever he's trying to get, just give it to him. Let's get this over with.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to be on the bad end of that bargain.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. It makes sense. So in your business, 'cause I know you're solely independent. It's like
Right.
you and the fam. Like, has it been people that came out and reached out to you trying to collaborate and all that type of?
Bro, I'm always down to collaborate with us.
Yeah.
But when it comes to building up their entities and their machines, only way I'm doing that is if like you monetary wise, you make it advantageous to the point where we gonna get a mass amount of money and I can do some real damage. And it still can't compromise the things I believe in.
Yeah.
So like I know earlier we was mentioning the board game. Like I was telling them yesterday, we had a phone call with somebody from Hasbro. Hasbro is the people who make Monopoly. And like the rules they laid out off the rip before we even went any further was the game got to have the word opoly in it, and they get to dictate how many units I can make per year.
Did they explain why I had to have an opoly in it?
Because basically they're saying like we'll help you with the blueprint, but we got to have some form of ownership in what you're doing.
Right.
So no, I've had big companies reach out, but then at the same time, like in that situation, I just felt that like they was gonna try to force me to compromise the information I'm teaching, what I'm sharing, and what I stand on. And then outside of that, bro, like for me, just being independent feel better.
Yeah.
I really get to run the show. We say what we want to do whatever we want to do, and nobody can hold no bag over our head because we put our own bread up in the first place.
I can dig it. So with the whole family aspect of, I know you homeschooled your kids. What's the difference between homeschool and regular school?
Bro, for me, I think I prefer homeschool because the education that my child getting, I know it's coming from a genuine place.
Yeah.
Like I'm on you because I want you to win.
Right.
I feel like I'd have had some teachers that were just on me because they genuinely didn't like me. They didn't want me in their class.
Right.
So for me, bro, the education gonna come from a genuine place, and I'm gonna give you a genuine education because I want you to surpass where you're at. Those curriculums, bro, all of them are state-based, and they are put in place to, in my opinion, to keep the children on one specific path.
Most definitely.
That's why most schools don't have no self-love course, no self-knowledge course. They're not really teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. They're teaching them how to get further education or be workers.
Right.
So for me, big bro, not only the genuine education, but I ain't gonna lie, safety too. We're living in an era where school is not really like the most simple and safest place to be at these days. So for me, like, honestly, big bro, for me with homeschooling, I delete a lot of the liabilities that a lot of people have to deal with.
Yeah.
You got to worry about your child walking to the bus stop. What happens on the bus? Somebody gonna shoot up school today? Is these teachers touching them? Like, bro, it's a lot of variables that come with school. So with me homeschooling, I get to remove all those. And then outside of that, just the things I teach, like, my daughter would be, if she was in a public school system, she would be second grade. They're not going to teach her how to protect herself with a firearm. I am.
Yeah.
So, and I know that may not matter to some people, but if you look up the new rates of school shootings, they done like damn near doubled from 2017.
Right.
It's turning up more and more every year.
That's crazy. Hey, it's real though.
Yeah.
As far as with the homeschooling aspect, do you think, well, how do you get around the whole, I guess, the barrier with the kids being social? Is there any barrier with the kids being social because they homeschool rather than being around a whole rack of kids of different types, you know?
No, bro, and I'm gonna say this too, right? I get that question a lot. The people who created the platform that most of us utilize today, they were antisocial. They were introverts. That's why Facebook was created off the rip, because they wanted to find a way to communicate with one another but not have to do it in person. Skim through your graduating class. How many of them are talk show hosts? How many of them are sports analysts? How many of them are newscasters? And then ask yourself, how many of them got paid for knowing how to talk excessively? Not many of them.
Right.
So what do the social skills really do? On top of that, most of them not even friends with the people who they was extra social with 15 years ago in high school. So yeah, bro, I mean, it's a hit or miss. Yeah.
I got you. So you used to work in retail. What did you take?
No, my first entrepreneur business was retail.
Okay, your first.
But no, I've never like worked in a storefront for retail.
Okay. So what was that business? Go into that a little bit for the retail.
I started a T-shirt company called Millionaire Bound, and then I had a connect in Nike and Jordan brand. A young lady I was dealing with, her aunt worked in not Jordan, not Nike, Foot Action and Jordan brand. So basically, bro, she served as like the plug. She would get me the shoes early. I would then go make T-shirts from my brand, and the color scheme would coincide with the shoe. Right. So basically, like, I'm trying to think of a real release. All right, when the Bread 11s came back out, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, all we did was create shirts that coincided with that color scheme. I typically would overcharge already $80 on a Bread 11, so you would pay me like $308, $60, $70 for the Bread 11.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm tripping. They was $200, so I'll charge like $330.
Okay.
But the way we did it, the incentive, we was like, you get a free T-shirt, but it was from my brand, but we just marked it up an additional $30.
Yes.
So they paid for the T-shirt too. But the point was, I was trying to force feed them, my brand by way of Jordan. Basically, I knew I couldn't get 300 people to buy my shirts, but I could get 300 people to buy this Jordan. Right. If I get them to buy this Jordan at my pre-order price, which is $100 over retail, throw the shirt in there. Whether you like the shirt or not, it's coming to your house. So, bro, that's essentially. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It was a great idea. It took 9 months to sell the first one, but it was a great idea.
It was worth it once you sold that first one.
Not gonna lie, once I sold that first one, bro, the gate opened. As I be telling you, bro, like once you figure out something, you just gotta repeat the formula. So once I figured out, like I got somebody to buy one, took 9 whole months, and I was like, okay, we about to be on fire now. We done figured it out. We ran. I ran that business for like 5 or 6 years straight.
How was that 9-month period? Like, was there any
doubt
or discouragement?
It wasn't doubt, right? Because I was that angry with my family, because they was doubting me that I had a real chip on my shoulder. So like I just wanted to prove them wrong so bad. But I ain't gonna lie, I used to do like 20-hour days, just lock myself in my room and just go at it all day on the internet, just figuring out marketing, advertising, XYZ. But no, them 9 months was a test though. I wasn't gonna quit, but I did think a couple times like, damn, I'm finna go back and get a job. And then one day, I ain't gonna lie, bro, like I got like $1,100 from my 401k. That held me over like another 2 months, but like them last 4, bro, I just thought that I don't know how I survived them last 4, but I got that one transaction in, and it was like September something. And then right after that, Black Friday season came, and I killed the game after that.
Yeah, that's all right, bro. That's all right. What's your philosophy on investment?
I mean, in my opinion, big bro, I think investment is a necessity. I mean, like I was telling them, America's built off entrepreneurship and violence. So if you're not going to be a full-blown entrepreneur, you're going to have to find multiple streams of income, multiple ways to get it. The system is not really set up for one income individuals. It's going to swallow you, or you're going to struggle your entire life.
Most definitely.
So, no, absolutely, bro. I'm going to invest in 100%. I would tell people try to invest in self first, but everybody don't have concepts and entrepreneurial goals, which is cool. But find somebody around you who's moving and invest in them. So I'm gonna tell you, bro, before I go invest in a stock, I invest in my homies back home. I throw $1,000 at them to help jumpstart their situation. They pay me later on the back end before I put it into a stock. But I'd rather spend the bread with my people. My last resort. I'm not against stocks. That'd be my last resort though.
Right.
My first priority gonna be me, and if I ain't got nothing going, then I'm gonna sit down with my peoples and throw some bread that way.
We're working with us, like our people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's difficult because I try to do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I try to work with our people. What's one of the things that you could tell, I guess, our people that are trying to collab with each other? What's one tip that they need to know to make it work?
Be patient.
Yeah.
I had to learn that, bro. I didn't learn that till like December. I was going through some things, and I was gonna stop doing what I was doing, cause like I made a lot of money in retail before I started trying to like actually help people personally.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't really an issue to go back to retail and just like go back behind the screen, nobody know who I was, and just get money that way. But be patient, bro. We dealing with like X amount of years of self-hate, distrust, all type of things. So, but we can be patient with Nike. When T-Mobile, what service you got, bro?
T-Mobile.
They have times where their towers go down,
Yeah.
and we don't abandon them. We wait till the tower come back up, and we be like, phone back on. Thank you,
T-Mobile.
Feel me? So we just gotta be patient with our people the same way, bro. Because our people dealing with some shit that's way worse than what any of these businesses dealing with, and we still getting the benefit of the doubt.
That's a plug. That's a plug right there. Be patient. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
How many streams of income you got going on right now? You into a whole lot of stuff right now. Like y'all moving out there. What's going on?
Bro, I would say it's only like 4. I would say I'm gonna count literature as one. Mm-hmm. So under literature, books, curriculums, I do courses. That's another stream. I hit the road. That's another stream. And then like as far as like apparel, that's another stream. So I'd say 4.
I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
But I'm trying to have like 8 by February.
8 by February.
I want that school. I want that apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I want that store, bro. I want a brick. I finally want to go brick and mortar. I tried to go brick and mortar when I first did retail, but I didn't realize like brick and mortar is not a game. Insurance, permits. I was dead broke back then, but nah, I definitely want to go brick and mortar this time around. Grab some plazas back in my city.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
What was the motivation for starting the game?
Bro, just trying to find a creative and fun way that I could infiltrate the black home. Because I love my people, but I know my people like entertainment over education.
Right.
So I said, well, shit, let's make it a board game. It's going to be appealing to the children off the rip. And then basically, like, the buy-in is mama going to buy it for her baby, but then mama going to realize when she planned it that it's 100 things in here that she didn't know about the financial, the world either.
Yeah.
So, bro, that was the biggest inspiration, just like, how can I get into the black household? And like, bro, like I said, bro, the medicine and the candy method. Mm-hmm. So that's like, it look like candy. It's gonna be a nice, colorful board game. So you open it, you're gonna scratch your head and be like, damn, I really got to think if I'm finna try to win this game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the game is teaching you about real life situations as well.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Real life situations, financial literacy, and basically just giving us the cheat codes to how we can, finesse the finesses. Mm-hmm. Banks, insurance, 401k, the workplace.
Gotcha.
Credit, all that good stuff. Student loans, all that.
We need a game like that when I was younger, man. We had nothing like that. We had Candyland and
that's why I say, bro, like
all that.
People keep trying to make the Monopoly comparison. I'm like, Monopoly cool. I like Monopoly, but it didn't teach our culture how to get their thumb off of us. Mm-hmm. It was fun. Like, you get your property, you go to jail, and but our culture. That's why I say, bro, like, the biggest thing with the in-home banking board game is the relatability. Like in Monopoly, if we gonna compare it to real life, our culture don't go to jail for 6 days or a day and get out. Yeah, that's not how our culture is handled. Our culture get 10 years for a first offense. Mm-hmm. So Monopoly might have been like a rich man's lifestyle, but it wasn't made to really reflect our true lifestyles. Mm-hmm. Nah.
Makes sense. So that game correlates with the course you got going on too, as an banking course.
Yep. So basically, like, we're gonna take a lot of the tools and the information in the course and break it down to a way that it's exciting for children and that parents can learn as well.
Gotcha.
As I say, bro, the goal is the older heads, the parents gonna learn, but the baby's gonna get a head start. Mm-hmm. And that's why I tell people, like, if we able to really pull it off and really dive into the information, we shouldn't be talking about in-home banking in 10 years. That's my goal. We should be on to something new. But if we still talking about in-home banking in 10 years, then we failed them babies that's coming right behind us right
Yeah.
now. Our current like 8 and 9 and 10-year-olds,
Mm-hmm.
we finna let them down if in 10 years we like, yeah, we gotta get the board game and learn. Like, no, we should have figured that out 10 years
Right,
ago. We could have
right.
gave it to them while they were 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you want to, like, what did you see yourself doing when you was 8, 9, 10, around that area?
Bro, that's funny, right? I think I always knew I was gonna be someone of significance. I just ain't know how.
Mm-hmm.
So like, bro, like I used to want to be a wrestler.
A
I
wrestler?
used to want to rap. Bro, we tried selling drugs. We tried cracking cars, bro. We tried everything to be like kingpin. It just never worked. And I'm glad it didn't, because I wouldn't be who I am and where I'm at today.
Exactly.
But nah, bro. I tell you, I never wanted to be nothing like minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be the man. Like, I just seen my daddy do so many things, and then like because of my mama musical history, she's always like Jay-Z been a part. Like I remember when Reasonable Doubt came out, like
Right.
Hard Knock, like all that stuff, bro. So I always had imagery of like great large people in front of me, whether it was television or the music. So I never wanted to be like the dog catcher. Not saying nothing from dog catchers, but I just didn't want. That's not what I want to grow up and be.
Right. Pressure. When it comes to pressure,
Mm-hmm.
you being one of this generation's leaders in the whole movement of uplifting our people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel pressure from that?
Like when you say pressure, you mean pressure from the people or like the resistance, like outside
Both.
forces? The people. Nah, bro. I think I'm extremely consistent. So like, I know in at least like 3 to 4 years, they can't name one day I ain't give them something of substance on social media.
Right.
Outside of that, I pumped out like 20 projects in the course of 3 years. So no, I kind of feel like even if I disappear today, they still got enough to chew on for like, a little while longer.
Yeah.
Nah, and then from the outside, bro, nah, I don't feel pressure from it either. Bro, one of the biggest pluses to my situation is like when my pops being retired Secret Service, he kind of gave me the blueprint on how that world works. So I think I'm able to sidestep or avoid a lot of the obstacles that past leaders may have went through, because I kind of got like that eye in the sky that remind me anytime I land or anytime I'm wherever I'm at, how to move accordingly, talk how to the lingo with them and all that. And then also, bro, I think, and it's crazy we had this conversation because I had it earlier today. I think where a lot of the past leaders fell short at was there was no energy surrounding them of resistance or revenge. So like basically when Malcolm dies and nothing happens, that sends a sign. When Martin died, Fred Hampton, like we could go down the list. And not to say I'm into violence at all, but I mean I've had verbal agreements. That's the right word.
Right.
Bro, I put it like this: if I walk out there right now and something happened to me, like it's like a line of communication on who's supposed to be called, who's supposed to be given what, X, Y, Z, and I could be fully gone. But the energy has to be put out there that like, if y'all do this again, y'all seen what happened last time, y'all grab one and they grab like 12 and a half.
Right.
So I think with that, bro, that's why I like even the videos with the guns, I never make threats with them. I be chilling. My videos be educational. But the energy is still out there when you see it that like, all right, if I approach them and I'm on that type of time, I might want to be calculated because I know how that's gonna go. I just seen him on the internet with a 50 cal in his hand, walking around. So, no, bro, I don't be tripping. And to me, bro, death is the inevitable. I mean, I know ain't what you asked, but just that's the end result. The most like detrimental lesson you can learn in life is to actually lose it. Other than that, like everything's just a learning curve. So, no, like I was saying at the event, bro, like if that was the case, like if they would make me immortal, like immediately. I'll sell 1 million books tomorrow.
Most definitely.
You know how the gram do, bro. You know how social media do. Oh, he did? Oh, let's buy everything.
Yeah. Everybody love you now.
Yeah, so bro, I really like, in my mind, I'd have laughed about it. Like, y'all grab me if you want to. Shit, it's just gonna be like 8,000 new people talking about, yeah, I got the in-home banking course.
Right.
About to take all my money out of the bank. So I'm gonna be tripping.
Yeah. That's what's up. In-home banking. How important is it for our age group? I'm 27. You 29, right?
Yeah.
How important is it for our age group?
Bro, I think it's extremely important. I'm gonna give just like one simple example, especially for our age group. If we look at the age groups before us, it's a clear-cut sign that this system wasn't really creating their benefit.
Right.
And that's why I tell you all the time, like, just run down your family tree and tell me how many people in your family currently have some generational wealth based off all the time they gave to the job, 401k, insurance. Most people that I know, bro, don't never have more than 2 people. Like, I don't know if we could ask everybody else that's in the room right now, but how many people in your family you got that's living off their generational wealth that they got during the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? I got one.
I can name one, and that's about it.
How about you, bro?
We all got it on our own.
Gotcha. Feel me? How about you? See what I mean? So my point is, like, if we're gonna do a census, some would probably tell us like, or the system might not have been built for us because only like 8 of us out of 3,000 of us made it out of there. So, no, bro, I think it's extremely important that we just stop being dependent on outdated entities to really get us ahead in life. They've showed their colors for like 4 generations already.
Right.
So, no, bro, I'm like I said, I want us to control the board. I want us to be able to fund our own ideas. I want us to be able to create our own enterprises, and I have to wait on somebody to give us the green light or the go ahead. And a lot of people ain't figured out yet. Even if you waiting on the green light or the go ahead, your mission gonna be diluted because a lot of people you're gonna get the bag from that seem like they want to help, they only giving you the bag so they can have some form of control over what you're doing. That's why, like, I mean, even with artists, they don't sign artists because they're friends. They sign them because they're valuable and they know they could use their talents to make them some bread on the back end. Yeah. So. No, bro, to me, the signs, they clear cut in front of us. We just have a conversation with our grandmas.
Right.
And we realize that system don't work.
Do you get a lot of, I guess, what type of feedback you get from their generation? Like our grandmas and grandfathers, even aunts and uncles.
I ain't gonna lie, bro, this shit just started coming around. Right. I got resistance like the first 6 years.
Yeah.
I literally, like, in my family especially, my grandma just hit me. I think she just started messing with Instagram, really, though, because when I went to London, she hit me and she was like, baby, I saw you in London and all those people was there to see you. And I'm like, what? What you doing? What you got? And she was like, what's that Instagram thing? So I tell you the time, bro, like, people can't argue with results. And I think that's kind of like the phase I'm in with regarding the older people in my family. It's all about results now. Like, you can have your opinion, but if you look at, like, the real layout, you can't take away what's happening right in front of your face in real time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Real talk. Any other questions y'all can think of?
The other leaders amongst yourself, the Umars, the Tariq Nasheeds, have you spoke to them, worked with them, the Cornell West, the Al Sharptons? I really don't count Al, but what's your relationship with them, if you have one?
I work with Umar. Umar did an event in my city in 2016. He had me speak there. Forever grateful for that. But for the most part, bro, just being real, a lot of them are caught up in ego. And just like music, sports, private groups, bro, everybody got supposed gatekeepers. So what, bro, I've had somebody, just being real, I had somebody tell me, like, a lot of them appreciate the information you're sharing. They just don't feel like you're old enough to be able to sit at that table.
That's crazy. So
they'll really tell you, like, what you're saying is really relatable in 2018, but because you're not 40 and don't have degrees and you don't call yourself a scholar like some of us do, then you shouldn't sit there. But I'm gonna tell you, bro, for me, I yearned to sit at that table they was at for probably like a whole year until I started meeting them, and then I realized, like, bro, a lot of them was people you would never sit with in school. They not cool in real life. They really. And bro, we ain't gotta say no names, bro. If you pay attention to their social media and their YouTube videos, bro, you could tell, like, We wouldn't even
It's
hang
a little
with
bit more
dudes.
judgmental than it is.
Yeah, we wouldn't even bang with
teaching.
y'all in the streets for real. We wouldn't even hang out with y'all. So, and not to generalize none of them, because I have like Banner is one of the older ones, bro. That's my big dog, bro. That's somebody I take advice from. I listen to all the time. Like, I can consider him a brother.
Right.
But bro, it's just an ego thing. And then like something else I've learned is that, how to say this, for a lot of them, bro, it's business than the people. Because I had already came into this business with retail money, it was about the people. Because I had already got the bag. I had figured out like money don't really get you nothing but materials and false perceptions.
Right.
But for a lot of them, bro, it's about the money than the people. So they fighting for that whatever supposed position they got in their mind, they fighting like hell to maintain it. So rather than like collaborate or any of that, bro, they would just rather be isolated. Everybody do their own thing, figure this out on your own, so they can make sure like, you know, nobody's light interrupts theirs. Like, I don't know if you ever seen me on the gram, bro, but I be with 8 other people. Ajna, 19 Keys, RZA, Ben. And I don't care about sharing the spotlight with them, the money or none of that. I ain't tripping on none of that, because I'm able to put my ego to the side and be like, bro, it's 8 other people here who's smarter than you in certain subjects. Put your ego to the side and just let them carry the weight what they good at. That's the biggest thing about partnerships and just teamwork, bro. Is like, you got to know when to defer, because your homie can dunk, but you know how to shoot. Mm-hmm. So if they got the three line locked down, you got to dish it down, let your man flush somebody. A lot of the older heads, they not good. They ain't good with that.
Would you say that it's different back then than it is today as far as the black leaders? Being as though ego is the issue that no one's coming together? Because back then you had Martin, Stokely, they were all on that team. So it was like they had a unity. Now it's like everybody's just speaking on their own.
Nah, bro, see, this is the thing, right? I think it kind of skipped a generation. So like the elders over us, they isolated. But, excuse me, bro, the millennials though, as far as my circle, we know how to sit in the same place and politic and build. So I think the unification that kind of like skipped their generation, that skipped the baby boomers, and then they hit the millennials.
You know why? You think, or do you have a idea why?
Bro, I just think with age, a lot of times people are not honest with themselves, and they don't know when to be like, let me pass the baton, because the perspective and the mind frame that I'm moving on doesn't fit the current generation. So like, let me give you an example. And there's no disrespect to him whatsoever. Like I said, he first person to put me on the stage. But I'm just giving an example. If Umar comes to Gangland with that African dashiki on, he's gonna get received a certain way. But I can go there with a black tee and some up tempos, and I'm gonna get received a certain way. So in that case, you would serve educating that area better by putting somebody there who has the relatability, so we can actually get these people to open their ears and listen to us.
Right.
Just like Boyce Watkins may be able to go into a business room with the glasses, nice clean cut in the suit, and he gonna get received a different way. They might be spooked and stop me at the door with security and be like, sir, we only want you to come in here because of how I look.
Right.
So as a leader, I would need to be like, hey, boys, you take the ball, bro. You get us in there. Once you get them, at ease, we gonna bust in and we gonna take over. But I think a lot of them just struggle with that. A lot of them, bro, because if it's about the bread, bro, it's enough bread out there for everybody. If that's what they tripping on, it's enough bread. Like, I be traveling with 9 other people, and we still have a good time, and I'm able to do my thing and make sure my family's straight. Yeah. So it can be done, bro. I just really feel like it skipped their generation. Hey, what up, y'all? It's Derrick Grace, Title Mentor. Checking in right here with my man. That's a plug. We just got done wrapping up a good interview. Be sure to check it out ASAP. And again, salute to Washington, Baltimore, Maryland, all surrounding areas for all the love and the support y'all show myself and the family.
Respect. That's a plug.
Also, sure, I just want to put in a simple plug for y'all.
Man, shout out to That's a Plug. Make sure y'all tune in, subscribe, and catch the wave while you can.